Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Padres versus Rockies pregame show for June 18th, 2022. I'm your host, Ben Fadden. Padres take on the Rockies at Coors Field tonight at 6:10 p.m. Pacific time. Obviously, the Padres are coming off that loss last night to the Rockies. Mackenzie Gore did not pitch well, gave up 8 runs. C.J. Cron hit 2 home runs. Charlie Blackmon, he tripled in his first at bat. I think he has the most triples in Rockies history now. So it was not a great night for the Padres. There was a good bright spot, a couple. Reese Kinnear pitched well, I thought. I think that not striking out a lot, only striking out 2 times last night was a positive. But moving on to tonight's game, Padres are looking to avoid a losing streak of 2 games. Starting a losing streak is not what you want, especially when you're facing the 28-37 Rockies, who are in last place in the National League West. But that's what's on the line tonight. The Padres are 41-25. This game will be on Bally Sports San Diego, 97.3 The Fan. The Padres are in first place in the West, half game up on the Dodgers after the Dodgers lost last night to the Guardians in extra innings. Dodgers, by the way, I saw this on Twitter today. The Dodgers have not won an extra inning game, I think, all year. So that's good. Then the Rockies are in last place in the West. They are 12.5 games back of the Padres. The pitching matchup tonight, Nick Martinez on the mound against Herman Marquez. Nick Martinez, he enters tonight with a 3.74 ERA. Herman Marquez enters with a 6.09 ERA. But you kind of got to throw that ERA out because Herman Marquez has just been that good against the Padres in his career and in his last start against the Padres. With Nick Martinez, he pitched well against the Rockies. That's the good news. His last time out, he went 5 2/3 innings and gave up 1 run. Struck out 9 guys, lowered his ERA to 3.74 on 97 pitches. 63 of those were strikes. You hope that he can do that again. And I really like what I have seen out of Nick Martinez the majority of this season because he's been consistent, just start after start. Like, he's not going to shut out teams all the time. He's had, I think, 1 shutout. Yeah, he had 1 shutout appearance so far this season, and that was against the Phillies in Philadelphia, and I believe that was a piggyback appearance, so he was not starting that game. He went 50 pitches there. He's not going to shut out teams, and especially at Coors Field, I don't think that's very smart to be expecting a shutout. But what you can expect is for him to probably go 5 innings, 4 or 5 innings maybe get through 6. If he's pitching well today, because it's at Coors Field, I'd probably expect him to go like 5 innings, and then you can hand it off to a pretty rested bullpen, and we'll get to that. But that's what he's going to give you, 4 or 5 innings, maybe 6, and he's going to keep you in the game. He's allowed 4 runs, at least 4 runs, only twice this year. So he's going to keep you in the game, and he's going to give you some innings. And then you look to Herman Marquez. His last time out was against the Padres last weekend, June 12th. The Rockies won that one 4-2. And Marquez went 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs, 6 hits, did not walk anyone, struck out 6, gave up 1 home run, 92 pitches, lowered his ERA from 6.49 to 6.09. That was his first start against the Padres this season. So tonight will be his second start, obviously, against the Padres. This time it's going to be at Coors Field. And so far this season, at Coors Field, just looking at his game logs here, he's allowed 4 runs twice. That was in April. 3, 4 runs, just looking at the game logs, him at home, that's kind of what it looks like. Gave up 6 runs to Miami, earlier this month, the first day of June, actually, at home. They actually won that game. The Rockies did 13-12. But that 4 or 5 runs, it would based on this year's stats, that looks like what Herman Marquez is going to do. 4 or 5 runs, and then you have Nick Martinez on the mound. I do like the Padres' chances if that ends up happening, because Nick Martinez, he hasn't given up 4 or 5 runs much this year. So I would definitely like their chances if that happened. Um, so that's the pitching matchup. Marquez against Nick Martinez should be a pretty interesting one. And that's some things to watch for with Herman Marquez on the mound in terms of the Padres lineup. Hosmer and Mazzara are in there. I saw earlier today when I was looking up the matchups, that Hosmer and Nomar Mazzara are hitting over 300 in their careers off Herman Marquez. So look for that if they can continue to have success off of Herman Marquez. And offensively, can they keep those strikeouts down, like they did last night? Now, last night, obviously, they ended up losing, but Mackenzie Gore just was not good. And so if Nick Martinez is better than what Mackenzie Gore was last night, and I don't think that's going to be that hard to do because of how bad Mackenzie was. He gave up 8 runs. You give up 8 runs, you're not giving your team a good chance at all to come back and win the game. I know the Padres, they scored 41 runs in that Chicago series, but you can't expect them to do that every series. So if Nick Martinez can, pitch to contact, go 5, 6 innings, get some ground balls. It felt like Mackenzie Gore was giving up a lot of liners and a lot of fly balls. Obviously, a few of those ended up going out last night. But just keep an eye on the Martinez matchup against Crone and Blackman. I haven't mentioned that. But more importantly, I think Hosmer and Mazzara against Marquez. Both are lefties, left versus right matchup. Let's see how those two specifically can do. And, Martinez last time out gave up that 1 run. So we'll see if he can kind of try to replicate that performance. And I don't even think that he has to replicate it like giving up 1 earned run. Like, if he can go 5, 6 innings, give up 3 runs, I'll be happy with that, to be honest, especially when you're comparing it to how Mackenzie Gore did last night, giving up 8 runs. Uh, we could talk about the bullpen situation here. Yesterday, Reese Kinnear pitched out of the pen. Clev pitched as well. Um, so he's not going to be available, but he's not really a reliever, so that's why he's not on this bullpen chart. But Kinnear, as you can see down there at the bottom, he went 34 pitches yesterday, but everyone else is available, and everyone but Garcia and Rogers have had at least 2 straight days without pitching. So that's good news. I think you could definitely see Adrian Morejon tonight. Maybe it's multiple innings. Um, who they have? Well, they have Blake Snell tomorrow. Maybe they want to save Morejon for multiple innings tomorrow, because you just don't know what Blake Snell's going to give you. And then Stammen, obviously, you would expect them to save for tomorrow. But yeah, Garcia, Rogers, they're definitely available. I would watch out for Morejon. It's kind of hard to put together like a pitching path to victory here. Let's say Martinez goes like 5 innings. What is the rest of the bullpen going to look like? Who are they going to go to? Obviously, Rogers is the closer, but like 6, 7, 8. You think Garcia would be the 8th inning, but would they go Morejon straight out of the gate and go 6, 7 with him if Martinez only goes 5 innings? I think that's something you could look for. Steven Wilson, I try to stay away from him if it's, a high leverage situation, just because he's not the same guy, I don't think, that he was at the beginning of the season. But he is used to pitching in Denver, in Colorado, so maybe they do go to him because it is a unique situation where I think he grew up in Colorado and he still trains there during the off season. I know he posted that picture with Crony and Hosmer the other day. I think it was yesterday before the series. of him in that visiting locker in the visiting clubhouse, because that's where he was, I think, to play his last high school game. That was probably like the state championship or something. They ended up playing there. So he has grown up playing in that Colorado, the high altitude. So maybe they do feel comfortable giving it to him over someone like Adrian Morahone, someone like that. So that's the bullpen situation. Pretty much everyone is available except probably Reese Kinnear. As for the lineups tonight, let's see here. Anyone in the meantime, if you have any comments, any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. Both lineups are out. The Padres, it's Profar leading off, Jay Cronenworth hitting second, Manny Machado hitting third. Croney's still hot, really hot. Luke Voigt hitting fourth. Haas did not start last night. He's back in there at first base, batting fifth. As I mentioned, Nomar Mazara is in there. He is in right field. It's a righty on the mound, so lefty hitting. Jorge Alfaro, thankfully he's in there, batting seventh. Trent Grisham is batting eighth. And then Hassan Kim rounding out the batting order, batting ninth, playing shortstop. I like this lineup. It's pretty much going to, your best hitters to your worst hitters. Sometimes you see them stagger the left-right lineup a little bit. That's not really what's happening here. Because if it's a righty on the mound, so you have back-to-back lefties in Pro and Crony, then you have back-to-back righties, then you have back-to-back lefties in Hosmer and Mazzara, then it's right, left, right. But there's not a whole lot of it's not right, left, right, left, right, left the entire way through the lineup. I'll say that. And then with the Rockies, Connor Joe, Jonathan Daza, Charlie Blackman Crone there, that 3-4, they continue to kill the Padres. Brendan Rodgers hitting fifth. Ryan McMahon hitting sixth at third base. Jose Iglesias batting seventh at short. And then Randall Grichuk and Brian Serven rounded out, hitting eighth and ninth. Randall Grichuk, the right fielder. Brian Serven is catching. Serven's been playing pretty well as that catcher. But Blackman, obviously, Crone, those are the two guys you really want to keep an eye on because they killed the Padres last night. And Crone seems to do really well, but Blackman, he has killed the Padres throughout his career. I think he has like the best average or the most hits or something. They always tend to bring that stat up when the Padres are playing the Rockies because Charlie Blackman, he's up there. Whether it's hits, like the most hits against the Padres since like 2017 or whatever, or the highest average, it's something like that. And maybe they'll bring it up tonight. I don't know, but he had that triple last night. Couldn't wait till a second at bat. Had to do it the first. Then he had a bloop single to right. But that's getting into the game last night. We'll get into that tomorrow after tomorrow's game, probably tomorrow night. All right, let's get to some questions, some comments here. By the way, my Padre pick yesterday was Manny. He went 1 for 4. So now I am 41-20 so far this season in my pregame show Padre pick. And a quick reminder for anyone that's new, the Padre pick is just someone. I'm not placing money or any bets on it, but it's just a little fun thing to do. One Padre, if you could only pick one Padre to get a hit today, and I do it before every game, who would that Padre be? So today I'm going to go with yesterday I went with Manny. He went 1 for 4. So I'm 41-20 now in my pregame show Padre pick this season. The reason why I don't have the same amount of games, I think it's about to be game 66, I think. 67. It's about to be game 67. And I currently have a record of 41-20, so that's 61 games. The reason why it's not the same amount of games as the Padres have played is because some of these games that I pick, the person I picked didn't have like an official at bat. So I'm not going to count that because that's not fair to me because they didn't have an actual at bat to go over. Um, Today I'm going to go with Nomar Mazara. Obviously, he's hitting over 300 against Herman Marquez. I like the at bats that he's doing. I didn't want to go pick Crony or Manny again. I feel like I've been writing them a lot, and rightfully so because they've been playing really, really well. But I did want to go with someone else. Maybe this is the first time I picked Nomar Mazara so far this year, and if it is, I should have probably picked him earlier. But Crony's been hot pretty much this entire time that Mazara's been up and getting, like these real consistent at bats. So again, first pitch tonight, 6:10 p.m. Pacific time. Padres are in first place. Rockies are in last place. It is Nick Martinez on the mound for the Padres and Herman Marquez on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. All right, let's end it with some comments, some questions. Wolfpack 1977. This is kind of a general comment question here. We might need to go get another pitcher. I don't know who that other pitcher would be, and I don't know if you're referring to a starter. I don't think you need more starters right now. Reliever, I don't think you need to go get another reliever right now. You got Morhone just came back. Other guys are coming back. They're going to be coming back, hopefully, whether that's before the All-Star game or after the All-Star game. You're going to get guys back who will fill in and be relievers, not starters. And with Clev coming back, Musgrove, he's on the COVID IL. But when he comes back, that's probably going to put Martinez back into the bullpen. Clev's in the bullpen right now temporarily. So that gives you a bullpen piece temporarily. And then he'll go back to being a starter. So then, like I mentioned, Martinez, maybe Kinnear gets more of a chance. I like what I saw out of Kyle Tyler. I know he's down with AAA now. But they have some pretty good depth there in the bullpen. So I don't think they need to go get a pitcher right now. DVD Posh, I do agree. I like our lineup today. Based on the players that we have, I like it. Yeah, Anthony says, good afternoon, Ben. The rest of the Talking Friars gang in attendance. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah. Anthony, good afternoon. Hopefully the Padres can get a dub today. Anthony's picking Manny to get a hit today. That's an easy pick, but I'm guilty of doing that a few times this year. Partly because there were times where I just wasn't as confident in the lineup as I am now, or like in multiple guys in the lineup. It was pretty much a one-man show. Quan says Martinez, Morhone, Rogers tonight. So if let's say Morhone goes a couple innings, Rogers for the ninth. So you're saying Martinez will go 6 innings? If so, that's good. Sign me up for that pitching plan. Martinez, Morhone, Rogers. I think it'll probably be like Martinez for 5 if you made me make a prediction, and then they go Morhone for a couple, Garcia, Rogers. But yeah, that's pretty close to what I would say. Quan's also going with Mazzara. Okay, so he agrees with me. Anthony asks, is Joe Musgrove going to miss 2 starts? Max, hopefully. The maximum, hopefully, 2 starts, but you just don't really know. Joe, I think, went into the clubhouse yesterday, and he just wasn't feeling well. So he left, and he actually ended up going into that COVID list or whatever. Yesterday, when I was at the MLB Draft Combine at Petco, I actually saw Ryan Christensen. He peeked out a little bit out from the tunnel. No one else noticed him because he was masked up and he was wearing a camouflage hat. Didn't want to like fully identify himself, I guess. He wasn't wearing a jersey or anything because the Padres weren't playing. But yeah, he was there, and he told me that he was doing well. I talked to him for a brief second, and he said he was doing well, feeling better. Don't know when he's gonna join the team. I didn't ask him that. All I really cared about was how he was doing because COVID's more important than baseball. But I guess my point with that is, with Bomel not back, Christensen not back, how long has it been? Has it been like a week and a half? Because I forget when Ryan Flaherty took over in the middle of the doubleheader last. Okay, so it hasn't been a week. Actually, it's been like a week. He took over the second game of that doubleheader, so he's been managing. So they are what 4-3 with him as the manager right now, right? So he's managed 7 games. So let's say it takes the same for Musgrove, then he would miss 1 start. And we don't know how much longer Christensen and Melvin are going to be out for. But just saying that, or just assuming that they're back for the Phillies series, let's say, then Musgrove would miss 1 start. But max 2 is hopefully. Yeah, definitely, Anthony. Yeah. But hey, if Musgrove has COVID, he has plenty of time now to discuss a contract extension and what he wants with his agent, and the agent can go talk to Preller, right? He's not using that time to prepare for starts. He's still going to throw and stuff. I am kind of joking there, but now they got plenty of time to work out an extension, keep making progress towards that extension. Hashtag extend grow Musgrove, extend Musgrove. All right, I think that's going to do it for the Talking Friars Padres Rockies pregame show for today. It is June 18th. Nick Martinez on the mound for the San Diego Padres against Herman Marquez and the Colorado Rockies. Can the Padres keep CJ Cron and Charlie Blackmon quiet tonight? We will see. Can the Padres get back on the winning track? We will see. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy the game at Talking Friars on Twitter, as always, for the highlights. I hope you subscribe to this YouTube channel for daily Padres content, including a post-game reaction like I always do. Episode 184 is out now on this YouTube channel, on the podcast platforms, reacting to my interviews with Jake Peavy yesterday and David Justice and Greg Amsinger of MLB Network. And hopefully I'll have a few more interviews coming out in the coming weeks, months, with some people that I am setting up interviews for as we speak. So stay tuned for that. See you, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday night.